Hello, this is Deacon Larry, and this is Renewed. As we film this, and as this is played, we're still in the middle of hurricane season. June 1 to November each year, we go through this time of year where there's a hurricane. This year has been an extraordinary year, not because of hurricanes, but because of so many natural events. Fires and floods in Europe and Greece and Turkey and outside of Jerusalem, forest fires. On the other side of the United States, California, terrible fires. The floods in the East. It's a time in which we reflect on the state of our planet. We often use and hear the word, it's in our paper, that there's climate change. And somebody asks, what does the church teach about climate change? The reality is that the church understands that our climate does change. What we don't necessarily understand, the church doesn't claim to be scientist in the sense of being able to understand all of the causes. I don't know that anybody does. But whether the climate is affected entirely by man, partially by man, by simply the movement of forces we don't understand, what we do know is our world is fragile. And thus the church calls us. Pope Francis did this in his great encyclical, Laudato Si, in which he starts with the words of St. Francis of Assisi of praising God as the Creator. And so we're called to recognize the many blessings of God that He's given us in this creation that is the earth. While we may not be able to determine how we shift and change the very movement of climate, what we can do is understand that we do have a responsibility to care for the earth, to be great stewards of the earth. In the words of the book of Genesis, Adam was given the command to be that steward of the earth. In ancient interpretations, that was thought of as to dominate, to be the first among all creatures. And while we certainly wouldn't place ourselves below lesser creatures, we also know today that we have to respect the role that all creatures play in making up this great planet that is the earth, our universe that we live in. So the call of climate change for us isn't to debate and argue about science. It's to understand each of us is called to be caretakers. Each one of us in the best way we can to think about how we use the fuels we use, how we drive, how we shop, do we recycle, do we turn over our technology with each new invention? Is there a simpler way for us to live? The church doesn't dictate to us exactly those things, how we are to do them. What the church does, the Holy Father in Laudato Si invited us to have a consciousness about the care of the earth. So maybe one of the things that we can look at is setting aside the argument of the how did it happen and to take on the role of how can we be better caretakers for the earth. If we do that, there's a chance that not only our world, but we might be renewed.
Please like, subscribe, or comment below.